I'm sure that most of my fans already have a rudimentary understanding of what the band Twofaces is, but for those who don't know, Twofaces is a electro pop duo that surfaced around 2017. I'm a huge fan, and I've been able to spread them to a lot of my fans and whatnot. And so I was able to pick up from a Reddit user something which is called Iceberg Explained Videos. So basically, you start at the tip of the iceberg, which is information about a certain subject, in this case, the band Twofaces, which is, pretty common to at least a regular fan. But then as you go deeper, you eventually get to the point where it's stuff that is super obscure and people don't usually know and might have a sinister undertone as to where the band came out of, and that it's much deeper and more profound than we understood beforehand. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. This is all sent to me by the Reddit user uLoafLover, and it should at least somewhat explain most of these mysteries. I'm not going to address all of them, but I'll do as much as possible. All the information I'm at least half certain about. As it goes towards the bottom, I'm less so, but definitely for the top, I'm almost 100% certain. So anyway, let's start off. So the tip of the iceberg. First we have the theory that Julia is about Julia. Now, I didn't know what this meant because I'm not super knowledgeable about their earlier albums, but I think this is referring to the song Julia off of the album Nostalgia. And so here's the thing, is that I don't quite know what it's referring to, because I don't know if they have who this Julia person is that it's referring to. I mean, I would assume that if they're going to write a song with the name Julia, they probably modeled it off of someone. So I was able to look into, from the early days, who the band was following on different social media and whatnot, and there is a Julia. So maybe I would say half a half on the validity of that theory. Second is the 2008 theory. Now this is much more speculative, and I was able to pull up some information from their old SoundCloud page. But I think it's referring to the fact that they released a demo album, and the name is escaping me, and I'm looking it up right now. Oh, Memento Mori. And it says it was released in 2008, excuse me. And yet, it never surfaced elsewhere until almost, I think, around 2019 maybe. And so there's this theory that they somehow were able to bring back music from 2008 that they had created, but both of the members would have been super young then. I don't even know what this is particularly referring to. If it's time travel, then I think it's silly and I'm gonna cross it out, but that might be what it's referring to. I truly don't know, so I'm kind of at a loss there. Mojo is alter ego. Now this I was able to find some stuff on. So I looked up Mojo, and I had known something about Mojo. Mojo is the name used for the rap album, which was the last Twoface's album released. But I didn't know much about the person or the character. He's kind of this character with like weird glasses and big hair and whatnot. But I was able to look up some stuff on YouTube, and I did find interviews on this weird, that looks like a fake homemade late night television show, but I don't understand what the alter ego part is about. Is it saying that he's not a member? Because I was kind of assuming that he was a member of the band. Maybe this is assuming that he's the alter ego of a member of the band, which is possible. But that just seems more like a choice. Anyway, before we move on to the next part of the iceberg, the last entry is Hidden Trollface Ethno State. I think this is just referring to the fact that one of their songs, which was a parody of We Are Number One, the meme from 2016, you know, Robbie Rotten and whatnot. And it has a picture of a troll face on the drum, whereas none of the other ones have that. I don't know what this means by ethnostate, so anyway. So the next part that we're going to be going on to is the shallows. So it starts off with this Gravity Falls secret reference, I think, and I don't know a ton about Gravity Falls, but I did my best to decode it. I think it's referring to the page where it talks about Twoface in the Gravity Falls journal number 3. But it kind of looks like this is a reference to the anime Spirited Away with no face. Read the page, you'll see. Anyway, I don't think there's much validity to that, though it would be really cool if it was, because I do like Gravity Falls. I think it would be awesome to have some sort of crossover. Triple album release. I think this is referring to the fact that they had like 3 albums that were released in 1 year. Again, this is not super weird stuff. I don't know why it's in the shallows. Whatever. My mistake. But anyway, yeah, triple album release. They're known for releasing their albums super quickly and not with a ton of space between them. Which is probably why they're so creative. I don't know. Or that's a manifestation of that. Anyway, here's something interesting. Indian racial slur. I know this one pretty well. It's referring to the song Curry Pass, because it's supposed to be a reference to the N-word pass, whereas someone from the ethnicity stated can give you a pass to be able to use those slurs. So, that's odd. The next, it says Samantha Studios' real meaning. So this is actually important. Samantha Studios is this YouTube channel which is connected to Twoface's, and they publish a lot of their stuff. So it's, but I don't think it's referring to the actually Samantha Studios. I think it's referring to what Samantha Studios really means. And so I did a little research, and the only creepy thing I could find related to the name Samantha is from X-Files, and where Samantha is the sister of Mulder, who's the main character, who was abducted by aliens. So I think that's what it's referring to. Anyway, lastly, on the very bottom of the shelves, Larry the Unicorn Homicide. So there's a video, and you can look it up, of Larry the Unicorn on Samantha Studios. I think this is the only reason why it was brought up, is because it's related to Samantha Studios. Though I think that one of the people from Twoface's plays Larry the Unicorn, and he's featured in a few of their videos. I think even in the video where they talk about Twoface's, I don't quite remember. And there's a video where he's playing the ukulele in a quiet room, and then something comes up behind him, and the video ends. I think it's fake. I don't think there's any validity to that, as I don't think the video exists at all. But that was the claim. So into the depths, we have a few things also related to Samantha Studios. It says Nigel and Walter crossover, but I found out that it really does tie into the Mystery Box crossover, so I'm just going to address both. Nigel and Walter is a small 2-part animated series on Samantha Studios, and Mystery Box is another one, but I think there's a crossover where both of them are in it. I think the only reason why they bring it up and in its relation to Two-Faces is that supposedly Mojo is in one of them, and they do indeed crossover. I don't know what the significance is, though it does kind of play into the theory that they talk about later, that it's all a reality TV show, which could be true. But again, just keep in mind that both of these shows do contain, I believe, are in the same universe as Mojo, which does lead to the fact that Mojo could be a character, an alter ego, which was referenced in the tip of the iceberg. So anyway, those are just 2 quick things, and they come back later. Anyway, Untold Album Stories. Now, this one, as a fan, I do know. I think it's referring to their album, I cannot remember off the top of my head. It was almost entirely a rock and roll. But I think it's called We Have the Truth. Yeah, We Have the Truth, which was released, I believe, in 2019, early 2020. I think definitely 2019. And if you look closely at some of the story titles, or the song titles, it does seem to link to a story. There's a lot of things talking about, like, being lost in a grandpa's basement and finding weird symbols and bones and lanterns and these symbols of like a cult. And then in other ones, it's another story in the same album, like the song Billy. But I think it's more of an emotional story than an actual one. I don't know. It seems like it could have had a story potential, but maybe they dropped it later on, especially in the song Torch Lantern Bones. I'm almost certain it had a storyline element. I know it does. Anyway, and then lastly, Secret Clarinet Player. This took some digging, but I've concluded that it's referring to the song Darn It All-Star, which was off of the Mojo rap album. It has to be. It's the only song with a clarinet in it. And as far as I know, neither of the players actually play the clarinet. So who is the secret clarinet player? I'm not quite certain. However, there is someone. The only person to actually repost that song was a person by the name of Claire. And so I'm going to assume that maybe it's referring to, who knows, maybe they got a sample from that. Actually, I think the song is posted on her account, so maybe that's who it is. Again, I'm not entirely certain. That's kind of one that's up in the air. Anyway. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at nearly the last part, almost, the Fathoms, which is fairly deep into the lore of Two-Faces. So the first is the Thaumaturge is real. So the Thaumaturge is a character from the series Mystery Box, which was referenced in the level above. And it seems like okay, so if we're equating the realities of that show with the realities of Mojo, who seems to be a reality in Two-Faces, and the Thaumaturge has this like complete control over like time and space. And it also seems that he is somehow in control of even that late night show that we were talking about, that maybe he's also in control of Two-Faces. Maybe. I don't know. It's plausible. I mean, if Mojo isn't a character and he's real, or if he is a character, which makes Two-Faces all like a character series, then yeah, the Thaumaturge would have some ability, but otherwise it seems not. Anyway, that's a whole nother episode that could be dedicated to that. So second is fake members. This could be referring to the fact that Mojo might be a fake member, like a created character. He's still kind of real, but he would be more like a Gorillaz, as in the band style character. But there was this thing in 2018 where certain members would just show up in photos and then disappear. So maybe that's what it's referring to? Not quite sure. Okay, the third is Mojo is dead. Now, it clearly says on their SoundCloud that Mojo died last week, rest in peace. And so, I kind of don't know what this means. Because that does make it seem like it's a character, because I didn't hear anything about the main, their lead singer, who uses Mojo as his nickname, Joseph Saunders. So I don't think he's dead. So maybe the character is dead. Again, I don't know what this confirms. Maybe it confirms the theory that it's part of a like a psyop, or something like sort of like a real world augmented reality sort of thing. ARG. And I think I don't remember if he died in the series, the series that he starred in. So again, I just don't have enough information to actually answer that one. Alright, then we have It's All a Reality TV Show. Again, this is probably just referring to the fact that there is the show with Mojo in it, but it also makes you wonder if the rest of the members are just characters, and if the entire band is literally just characters in a series. It kind of makes you wonder, how big is this show? Is it just something created by the characters, or is it the characters themselves? Is everyone a character? Are both members of the band, Timothy and Joseph, are they are they characters? Is the whole thing a TV show ran by the director? But it looks like the director was killed and replaced in the series. It doesn't make a ton of sense. It's hard to know what's real and what's not in that universe. So I'm just going to say that maybe it actually could be likely that it's all a reality TV, or a TV show, not a reality TV show, but you know. Anyway, lastly here, before we move on to the deepest part, which is the abyss, we have Pablo theory. Now, Pablo, I was able to find this out. Pablo is a character created by a past member or associate of the band, Mitchell, and it seems like it's referring to this character or this person that he says to have known who had powers. He's actually listed in one of the members of Twoface's, or the band, which both of them were in after Twoface's, Modest, as a person within the band. That Pablo had some sort of power and, you know, played with them during their concerts. It's kind of a weird theory, but it actually has a lot of evidence to back it up. So I'm going to say that this one is likely true, probably a good 80%. That at least he has some reality. But the other part of the Pablo theory is that he unites all the different bands into kind of one group. So you have the Guava, which was the group of during the same time as Twoface's and after, and then you have Modest, and then you have Twoface's. Maybe they're all part of some large plan by Pablo. I don't know. So anyway, that's the end of the Fathoms. Let's move on to the Abyss. So last, we're going to cover the Abyss, which is the deepest part of all of these theories. So first is cult affiliation. Now, usually in any of these Iceberg videos, there's always this thing about a cult, and usually it's not true. But I was able to locate an image, part of a video, and I'll play it here, of one of their concerts in like November of 2019. And yeah, it does look like something out of a cult. So, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I'll play it right here. Anyway, so that's weird. Second, we have abducted TV host. Now, I don't know what this meant. There is the host from the show itself, and he was killed, but... Well, sorry, he wasn't killed. He was attacked, but he was able to escape. I don't think this means abduction, but who knows? It's still odd. And since it's in relation to Twoface's, and since Mojo might play the character of the TV host, does this mean that Mojo was taken? And that's the other thing, is that if are they different characters or are they the same character? Do the actors play the same person? It gets so complicated. It says abducted TV host twice, so I don't know what a second instance of that would be. Anyway, there's the zero gravity theory. Zero Gravity was a group which was created by Timothy Tucker, who is the other half of Twoface's. And I don't know what the theory itself referred to. I couldn't really even find anything concerning that. It just looks like it was a group that was created by four Twofaces. And then there was the West Redbray Brothers, which was another group created. So I mean, I guess it's more of just an interesting tidbit about the band before it became a band. I don't think any of the songs were saved. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. There's another theory that only seems loosely related because it mentions Mojo, but there's a huge theory that's far too big to explain here. That's probably would take as long as much more time than we have in this video to give, concerning how characters in different cinematic universes are connected, and Mojo is referenced as one of them. At least I think that's what it's referring to. Anyway, I think that I like the first theory better because it just connects much better in general. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. Give us a like, follow, and subscribe. I'm on YouTube. I forget. And enjoy the rest of your day. God bless.